it has been Divine Mind series to win, and I think Chiefs really need to step it up a notch from what we've seen to get this bracket reset and get through this first best of 5.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, we talked about it before. There was probably a bit of a mental game with the Chiefs, but we spoke to Madsy before, and it was pretty evident in their gameplay that they're just kind of trying to have a little bit of fun and just, shake off their devastating loss. And, Madsy just said that, they'll have a bit of fun, reset, moving, and their sights are set. So maybe they're locked in, and I'm anticipating there could be a bracket reset. So Hoots, I hope you're comfortable, mate, because I reckon it's going to be a late one.
You called a bracket reset last time, Justin. I don't think we got it, but I'll back you in on this one. I'm never wrong. You're never wrong, apart from last week. So I'll back you in on this one because
never wrong.
I think the Chiefs might have picked up a bit of momentum in that last series against BBR. Sometimes you just need to know how to win again, and I think they managed to do that in the last series. And we saw some pretty outlandish plays from them, really just trying to get themselves hyped up. And we had in that post-game interview, Madsy said that it was absolutely working. So interesting to see how they come off the back of that previous loss against the Chiefs, but also considering the win they had against BBR. But we are starting off on board with Beastn hanging in the back tram here. Some nades and BR shots will come in to stop that. BZIIRK, meanwhile, he's happy to just waste the rockets, rather have them out of his hands and out of the enemy's hands rather than giving them up too quickly. And so we start off with 2 down for Chiefs. Meanwhile, no real ascendancy yet in terms of strongholds being captured, although it does look like this B site will go to Divine Mind and they will start scoring first, Justin. So obviously 2 sides need to be held to keep that score going up. We have Plasma here on a nice flank, putting shots into the Chiefs players who are trying to move in on arcade. Pretty much all Chiefs players have gone into the arcade area with at least some damage in them, and meanwhile they're not going to be able to make too much of a play on this A site while Plasma starts capturing it. So brief triple cap there for Divine Mind. Plasma moving straight into B, trying to clear out the Chiefs players. It looks like they're trying to go for a triple cap relatively early, Justin, although that overextension probably going to hurt them in the short term, because we are going to have 3 down now for Divine Mind. Potentially worthwhile just staying at that A site to defend while your team's scoring.
Yeah, maybe. And that was a great flank before, and weakening up all of those Chiefs players, but none of them dropped, and they took that and just started racking up points anyway. So not really making a excellent play, and not really translating to much, unfortunately. But we are on board with BZIIRK now. He does fall the caster's curse. As soon as I open my mouth and talk about the play at hand, he dies. But Madsy now with that stalker rifle, stalking his prey, takes down one. Swayz is sent to the respawn screen. And look at this, the Chiefs, they got the triple cap right now. Divine Mind, they want to stop that bleeding as soon as possible. They do, but they still have to contend with the Shark coming in and clearing house right now. His shields are flashing, but he's looking for more. That B stronghold just sitting there. Pips trying to hold down the fort, but here comes the Chiefs push. They want to take them out. BZIIRK getting up in their faces, and I see in the kill feed Slayz with those rockets as well, Hoots.
Yeah, that triple cap came about for the Chiefs when they only actually had 2 up and Divine Mind were 4 strong. So quite odd that you see a triple cap happening with only 2 team members up. Slayz, I like this flank coming around here. He's got a fair few players actually at the back here. Manages just to pick up 1 on Plasma, but I think you can assume Rated is probably pretty weak as well. Starts fighting down, I think with Pips down there at bottom as well, in mid as well. Pips will survive there, but we are moving into this A site now. They're starting to try and capture that one back, although some nice defensive shots there coming through, and we're not really seeing too much of a capture here, although coming through on A, we are having the Chiefs start to take that back again. So Justin, we are really neck and neck right now. The Chiefs managing just to keep a little slim lead here, although it looks like Divine Mind answering right back, capping C, also going for a cap on A. Meanwhile, B is getting taken, so we really are seeing a flip of the sites right now.
They are. The Chiefs coming out really strong, but Divine Mind, they're responding just fine. It's not like they're getting dominated or anything like that, and it kind of feels like this is the matchup that we should have had originally in the winners final, both teams going at it, and neither one really having a big run over the other one. Now with Swayz here, he's 8 and 6 currently, doing his best to hold down this area of the map, but Beastn comes in with a clear out. Yes, he does get the trade, but Swayz was in such a powerful position there, Hoots. He was putting in damage, multiple angles, and he just needed to get taken down.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on board with Slayz now. Slayz and Swayz, we're jumping between the two, but we're trying to keep sense of it as much as we can. We have these rockets popping. I think that was in about 5 seconds, Justin. But we're still on board with Slayz here, just doing a bit of work around this arcade side here, and the thruster pack being used by Pips, unfortunately to no avail. He'll be taken down. We do have Chiefs holding 2 sites right now, although that A site is being contested. Rockets have popped. BZIIRK runs in and grabs him straight, although a nice nade will come through from Swayz to take him out. It looks like he's going to start to make a move on these rockets. I think there's one Chiefs player who's going to try and contest them. I think that's BZIIRK, or is Beastn, sorry, right above him. So Beastn will get the kill there and the rockets secured. That's huge for the Chiefs right now. Their lead's really starting to break out, Justin. They're up by almost 100 points. They have these rockets in hand as well, and they're still scoring. Those rockets being used perfectly by Beastn there on Pips. He has one other player on his right, misses him. Double kill though, right below him. That's perfect use of the rockets there. 3 down for Divine Mind, but that's a big win there from Madsy as well to keep them 3 at bay. Chiefs just still scoring, Justin. Doesn't look like Divine Mind's really been able to get any kind of score back for the last couple of minutes.
Hurts. You didn't notice the stick on the BZIIRK there?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was a betrayal. He threw out that plasma grenade. It was a pseudo triple kill. So, you know, we love to pay those things. So he nailed it. So triple kill for Slayz, I think it was. But we're now on board with Rated, who's had a pretty good night, Hoots, hasn't he? He's gone from strength to strength, and we have got a Divine Mind triple cap right now. Beastn doing his best to stop the bleeding, but he's taken out, and Madsy jumping up to challenge. Rated doing his best to push that player back, but here comes the Divine Mind push to take down the Chiefs here that were trying to flip B, but it doesn't matter. Here they come with the reset. Madsy with the Bulldog able to secure 1 kill. Rated should get an easy cleanup, which he does. Shields are flashing, but Divine Mind, they are building up some points onto the board. They've got a bit of a gap to close down, about 70 points, but Rated with a double kill for himself. Shields are flashing. Slayz finally getting the killjoy to take him down, but it doesn't matter. Divine Mind still racking up some points here, Hoots.
Yeah, they've really asserted some momentum here and are on a pretty nice run themselves. This is what's really heartening for them, I guess, is that the Chiefs, they have been getting runs on them, but they're fighting back every time. Swayz, you had those rockets in his hand. He does manage to get effectively a trade there with those rockets. Pips only on the 4 kills, Justin, so he's not really putting in the kind of work that we have been expecting of him in some of the previous series. If he can start to light fire, I think we can really see Divine Mind to start to bring this back, but they are still scoring 133 to 171. Just as I say that, Chiefs starting to capture that B side. They're putting a stop to the score in there and starting to score for themselves. But look, we have Rated pushing through on this A side. I think he's got some help with him there. Beastn's going to be in his sights with this Stalker rifle. We've spoken about it. People using it a lot now, but it's not going to be anything against that Bulldog at close range. Swayz using that perfectly, though, now in his hands. And we have Chiefs still scoring, although this A side is being contested rather heavily. Slayz just needs to stay alive here. Unfortunately, he can't. He will be dropped as well. Madsy, he loves this position, Justin, on top PD there. Just putting shots down onto the P2A, but look at the push coming through from Divine Mind onto this B side.
Yeah, he is, and having a look at the scoreline a little bit here. Slayz 18 and 11, and Madsy, he's going 12 and 8 right now, and he has double-digit assists. So it looks like the Chiefs are really starting to work together very nicely, and it's translating into a comfortable lead right now. Divine Minds, they can still get it done, but that timer is starting to tick towards 250, and the Chiefs is looking pretty strong. Now Beastn with that microwave, looking to make some dinner for himself and get this map in the bag.
Absolutely, Beastn heading up to top PD. We have the A site being contested right now. Divine Mind really needed to try and grab that. Unfortunately, couldn't. Great defense from the Chiefs. And so now this is when Divine Mind, you might start to panic. You're 2 down on the score, on terms of players up right now. Still 2 down. It just means your pushers can't really have any kind of force behind them, as we have the Chiefs looking to close this out straight away. Justin going for a triple cap. I don't think Divine Mind's going to be in any place with 2 down still to try and make any kind of stop to this as the Chiefs keep scoring. And Justin, that's a massive turnaround there for the Chiefs to come out and take this first game 250 to 133. Pretty emphatic win across the board there. It looked like Pips was struggling a little bit for Divine Mind, but the Chiefs in general were just really all over them from the get-go, and there was one really solid run of about 70 or 80 points uncontested they put on that Divine Mind could just never get back.
This is exactly the win that Chiefs needed, right? They needed to come into this series hot, take them down, and just kind of prove that they can hang with these guys. I mean, we know that they can, but tonight's been a mental battle for these guys, and sometimes you've just got to go, hey boys, we just thrashed them, that was easy, we're way better than these guys, and then you're right back into the series. So full reset mentally for the Chiefs now. They were able to have a bit of fun the previous series. Now they've gone in, taken down Divine Mind map 1, and they're looking to close out the series so they can get that bracket reset.
Yeah, we spoke about, not to harbour on it, but we spoke about Pips before, and just having a look at some of his stats there in terms of like the damage he was putting out, just wasn't really getting himself in the right positions, it looks like, to be able to put that kind of pressure on the other team. So, you know, that's sort of one thing that I think we will see him improve. We know he's a great player, and we've spoken to him a couple of times because he is one of the leaders on this Divine Mind squad. So I would expect him to bounce back in this next game that we move on to, which is going to be Slayer on Live Fire. Keeping an eye on Rated and Swayz as well. You know, they're the two players who we expect to really pop off, and Swayz was definitely doing it in that game there for Divine Mind. But as we move into a Slayer, we know that really is his bread and butter, Justin. So they'll be looking to bounce back pretty quickly on this one. But, you know, for Divine Mind, I think when you lose that first game, knowing that the Chiefs need to at least reset the bracket, that's got to start creeping into your mind off the get-go, right? It's like we 3-0'd them the last time we played, and now we're 1-0. So they've actually won one back off us when we were beating them pretty comprehensively in that first series we played. And, you know, there's that old adage of the reverse sweep that no one ever wants to see. But, you know, that probably starts creeping in your mind after even just one game. You start to think, surely we couldn't blow it from here. So, look, if Chiefs can net this next game, this Slayer on Live Fire, then this is well on to be a bracket reset. And then when we get to that, it's just who knows what can happen. But we're still a long way from that. We have to go to Slayer on Live Fire, obviously, first to 50 kills, and this is a map where we have seen Divine Mind really dominate across multiple game types tonight so far. So this is definitely one of their favoured maps.
Streets of ANZ, so we could get this game up and running. Now, Hoots, we are in the grand finals, so let's bring up the volume, let's bring up the hype a little bit. We have Divine Minds versus the Chief. Now, the Chiefs were sent down into the elimination bracket. They weren't too happy about that, but they are back with a vengeance, and we are starting things off with Pips, and he's just checking his thumbsticks are working a little bit, and he's like, yep, they're all dialed in, correct sensitivity, let's do it. Now he's rushing through, and he's gone for a little bit of a flank here. Look at this aggressive play, but Beastn read him like a book there, but he's a little bit scared. He's like, Pips, leave me alone, please. And Pips able to get the flank on him anyway. Beastn, not sure what he's doing, but he knew Pips was there. Now he's just wasting so much time. I'm not sure what the play was in that situation, but one thing it did do is Rated scooped out that overshield and the sniper rifle, Hoots.
One thing it did do as well is allow them to jump out to a really early 5-1 kill lead. You're right, Beastn did a good job of actually staying alive there and trying to conserve his life. But Pips was a man on a mission there, and we saw at the start just running straight for. I love the aggression, jumping up to Nest. I also love this from Rated, just jumping out. He's going for some no-scopes himself, similar to what we saw Slayz doing on this map before against BBR. So they're trying to get a few style points themselves, get themselves hyped up. Meanwhile, we are now on with Plasma. He's going to find Slayz there around the sneaky ramp. He's going to be dropped a perfect on him as well. Beautiful shots coming out there. Plasma's going to cop some shots as well, but he'll be able to get away. I think we're actually, sorry, we had the screen just slightly wrong there. I was reading it incorrectly, but we are on board with Plasma. He's just managed to get a double as well, so solid start there from Divine Mind. A 6-kill lead at the start, Justin, so, you know, they're coming out to prove that Game 1 was an aberration and that they're the team who should be dominating this tournament.
Yeah, pretty bold words from Hoots there. We'll have to see how things play out, but Rated, he just seems to be so consistent today. His shots are so crispy, his movement unbelievable. He's just cool as a cucumber moving through. He does fall, but now back on board with Plasma as he's hunting down BZIIRK, but he gets taken out by Pips before he's able to secure that kill. Madsy, he goes down as well. That overshield is about to pop as well. Who's able to get their mitts around that one? Plasma, one-man army over in here, and I love that nade placement as well. Rated able to grab another overshield, and he got it cleanly too, Hoots. He's got basically that full stack of extra shield to get aggressive, and Slayz running for his little life right now, trying to put some damage into Rated, but here comes the collapse to take him down. Swayz able to take that player out, but here comes the Divine Mind collapse. Rated doing his best Obi-Wan high ground impression, repulsing up to top tower, hunting down Madsy. Madsy unaware, trying to stay alive and taken down. Raided, not able to secure a lot of kills himself, but the pressure that he was applying, that was key to that collapse.
And look at the 12 kill swing while he has just been able to do that, running around, just absolute chaos caused by him having that kind of freedom with that overshield. The nades coming in from Pip, I love that. He should have picked up 2 then, I would have thought, with the nades. Only picks up 1, but his teammates are going to come in, clean up some of the rest. 3 down again for Chiefs. 15 kill gap for Divine Mind. Justin, it's Slayz that they're really doing so much of their damage, and it's their OS control that we've seen consistently tonight across multiple series, where they're just controlling that OS. They're really prioritizing it because they know the importance of it, being able to just break setups and really just cause absolute chaos. And whilst the OS player might not be the one collecting all the kills, he's certainly the one who's creating them and allowing the teammates to come in. You see Swayz here pinging the heatwave, saying that's something we need to make sure we have control of. I'm not sure who it was that ended up picking that up, and Swayz meanwhile has a sniper moving up to top tower. Massive lead right now. We just saw a pitch to fastball Beastn, so I'm guessing got the kill by throwing the nade there at a one-shot player. We don't see that too often. Swayz starting to move into the garage now with the snipe, looking for shots on BZIIRK. There's a nade coming right in his face, but he's going to back up a little bit, not pushing yet until he has that team coverage, and that's what I love, Justin. The teamwork there, not pushing until you're with the teammate.
Yeah, and this rotation from Divine Mind to, look at that jiggle peek from BZIIRK there, doing well to fight multiple players there to stay alive. That OS, Madsy with the perfect position to shut down that OS grab, but Swayz goes in and picks that one up.
Yeah.
And look, he thought about switching to his BR to take it down. He's like, nah, bro, I'm going to hit it. And perfect shots there to get the double kill, but that OS has been taken out of the picture. He got a couple of kills, but they didn't really get any map control or collapses onto players there, so just a couple of kills.
Jeez, this is an absolute spanking from Divine Mind, Justin. I think it's pretty safe to call it now. A 6 more kills required to send it home. It's going to be another stake. Divine Mind just love the stakes when it comes to Slayer. They always seem to be getting at least 1 or 2 a game when we're watching them. So 6 more kills, looking to round this out now. Raided just with that heat wave, putting in some damage. He's still got it in the back pocket here, moving around onto the sneaky, just chasing. You've got this much freedom when you have a lead like this. Slayz unfortunately can't get him, even though he had the jump with the melee. And with 3 more kills to go, BZIIRK's going to be caught underneath tower. Slayz Raided just turns around. Unfortunately can't get the finish kill there, but the spike comes in. I thought he had it, Justin. 1 more kill required for Divine Mind. It's another stake, 50-27. And looking at the scoreboard there, it was just consistency across the board. That's exactly what Divine Mind needed after losing that opening match.
Yeah, that was very interesting. That was just dominance, right? That was pure dominance. And I don't know, like Divine Mind, they're not even shooting bodies yet, but are they already back in the heads of the Chiefs? Or is it just these juggernauts just going at each other and just trading things out? Is it just Divine Mind playing too well that the Chiefs just can't get things going? Sometimes that's just the way that it is. When you're playing Halo and everything is going your way, you get the power-ups, you get the weapons, you get a couple of picks, you just build that momentum and you just keep collapse. And that's really evident in the Slayer games, that when the other team is kind of steamrolling, it can continue the entire game. So perhaps we don't need to make conclusions that the Chiefs is, having a bit of a mental struggle again, and it could just be Divine Minds. They just had everything going for them in that game.
I mean, the Divine Mind players, there were 3 of them that had single-digit deaths, so they just weren't getting killed either. It was a really, really solid performance. I think you're right, Justin, what you said before, is that what does that do to the Chiefs? The momentum that they had coming into Game 1, it's a fair assumption to say a lot of that might have evaporated now, given the level of spanking that we did just see from Divine Mind. They've clearly just turned it on, and it's just this, I was saying it before, it's this OS control that they just across the board have been so consistent with throughout the whole of tonight. I don't think we've seen any other team prioritize it as much, have as much value on it as Divine Mind have, and it's just going such a long way into allowing them to get setups, to get on runs, secure power weapons. It looks, at any moment we looked, really, it seemed like Divine Mind had a snipe in their hands, they had a heat wave in their hands, and so much of that comes from having that OS and just being able to bury your head down and run in out in the open, cause a ruckus and drop shields everywhere while your teammates come and clean them up. Just fantastic play from them, prioritizing that. And now we do move on to CTF Bazaar. Overshield on that map as well, obviously. but there's a lot of other things to grapple with as well when we're looking at rockets, flags, grapple shots themselves, those dynamo grenades. So this is a map that really has a bit of everything in terms of game type, and so it's the top teams that really do excel when it comes to CTF Bazaar. Yeah, exactly.
He's on Graveyard, folks. Sorry.
So we are just waiting to load in now. Fingers crossed we've got all that stuff sorted. We do now have, I guess if you look at Divine Mind, only 2 maps away from actually closing this out. Meanwhile, Chiefs 2 maps away from resetting this series and forcing us into another best of 5. But we do just wait for this to log in, and I think we're all good. We're not having any players meleeing walls, so we are on board with Pips because he's the one who's going to tell us straight away, Justin, if we do have issues. And as I said before, I was saying those grenades down there, down onto the dynamos, can be so effective if your teammates are in a position to stop that OS run. But unfortunately, they weren't. And what we have there instead is Swayz just jumped. Sorry, it is Slayz. I'm getting confused. Just jumping straight out with that OS, and look how he's able to just run straight into the flag here and still have full shields and a little bit of OS when those rockets are going in as well from BZIIRK. A bit of friendly fire there, but it's helped secure that kill. And Chiefs really pushing in strong. There's a double out of BZIIRK. That is 4 down for Divine Mind, but the flag hasn't really been run yet. So it took them a bit of time to get away with that flag, and that gives Divine Mind a great chance to start to overextend. And I don't even think they're really in a position to be running this, the Chiefs. So that's just a really unfortunate turn of events. I think we can see Plasma here hovering around that flag. They're going to get the return. So, geez, Justin, when you have a setup like that, you then have the flip here. Look at this, Chiefs 4 down. So Divine Mind at least able to get some kind of momentum back. They weren't really in a position to start to run a flag themselves because they were so heavily on the defensive, but at least they're able to answer back. And so, Chiefs, you can't just be pushing us around like that.
Oh, and a monstrous triple kill from Pips there to shut down that push. And that was just unfortunate. I think maybe a Divine Mind player had a really good spawn and was just able to shut down Slayz as he was trying to run that flag. And you know that BZIIRK turned around and going, boys, what the hell happened? We've played it perfectly and the flag's not moving. So unfortunate for them. And that flag, it is kind of stalled a little bit. It's not really going anywhere. But Slayz getting the better of Pips in that situation there. Grabs himself a couple of sizzle sticks. He's looking to make himself a bunning snag. Throws ones out. Swayz caught there. And he's taken down with an assist medal coming in. And Slayz just staying alive bottom mid, doing a bit of a shopping down in the market. And we've got a flying POV at the moment. Looks like all the chickens have already been turned into dinner. Beastn with that overshield. That's a second overshield for the Chiefs, and now moving in. Maybe take 2 to get this flag moving, Hoots.
Yeah, and with this OS in Beastn's hand, this is really crucial as well in helping them get this flag over the halfway point. Pips, he's not trying to overextend too much yet. He's just hanging around down in the alley, causing a bit of a distraction. Meanwhile, the flag is up at top market. So Beastn's down below here, not in a position yet to be grabbing the flag. And Plasma comes up with that big win there. 1 down, 1 up each, I should say, for the Chiefs. I think with Pip going down, though, this flag could still be capable for Madsy. He's going through the double doors. I like that. It's a smart play. It's the quickest way to get through there. And I think he's going to have all the support he needs. That's another fumble from Madsy, Justin. We've seen a few so far tonight, but I think they're in such a good position that he can waltz that one straight in. So we do have, within about 3 minutes, the Chiefs putting in the first flag here with Madsy, and he's already straight back on the offensive here, taking down Rated.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. He wasn't able to connect with the back smack there. He does go down. BZIIRK with a lovely banked grenade off there, and the cool guy points as well. He just looked the other direction and moved on. Now Rated getting the better of BZIIRK there with a bit of help from Plasma to take him down. And then here is Slayz with a bit of a little cheeky strafe there, taking him down. Now Swayz on board with him. He's checking out the double doors. No bounces there, holding him back from entering the club. Now Swayz launching into the map. It does look like he might be able to get a flag moving, but Madsy has something to say about it. But reversal for Swayz, taking him down and looking. The players trying to call him out. He gets in. He almost gets that kill as well, but boy did he do a lot of damage there. Just such a nuisance.
Absolutely. I thought he he was going to get that second kill as well. It would have been completely outrageous, but gee, he came really close. This OS is now about to pop. Pips is able to grab that and pop it in, and it looks like we are seeing Divine Mind starting to run a flag. It's raided. Pips, now knowing he has this OS, he's going to get nice and on the offensive because he knows, look at this, the overextension is coming from Chiefs. So Pips starting to get involved here, getting around, making sure the Chiefs can't get over onto his side of the base, just hanging at these double doors, and this OS is allowing him to stay alive like this. I think we did have one player manage to get through here. We have a big push coming through double doors, and unfortunately for Divine Mind, I don't think they're going to be able to put this one in. Plasma just has to try and stay alive, cause some defense here. We have Chiefs starting to move in to return this flag, and I think he's not going to be in a position to get it. Unfortunately, this flag, I think, did get returned, so Rated knows he now has to give up on that and play a bit of defense himself, as we do have Chiefs starting to run this now through the balcony.
Yeah, they are, and now launching on board with BZIIRK. He's having a pretty good game so far, 11 and 6. He's got that Bulldog in hand as well. I love his use of cover there, just peeking a little bit, but not getting too greedy about that kill. He's kind of eye on the prize a little bit, getting some flags moving. Pips throwing out some area denial nades there to try and cut off those angles. And Pips having a look at his scoreline. He's 9-9 at the moment, so go even Steven, and he trades things out, going 10-10. And then now Madsy put some nice shots in himself. He does fall. Now, having a look at the scoreboard for the flags, we have got one in favor of the Chiefs currently, but it is so back and forth at the moment. The Divine Mind, they could score a flag at any moment, and that clock is ticking down, so it might become all up to the clock. Hooters. That clock's going to keep working down because both of these teams, they really do need a perfect, clean flag run to get that flag across, because neither team is giving the other team an inch.
Rockets and OS both popping now. I think Divine Mind are in the best position to actually grab both, with all dead for Chiefs. So this is the most opportune time they're going to get, with Rockets and OS both popping at the same time. They easily secure both uncontested, and Plasma has this top point here that he can use to try and at least get some fire down. He manages to flip around, take out BZIIRK. There's the next rocket. I think, did he take out his... No, his teammate's still alive there. So it's 3 dead, 4 Chiefs. Again, this is the perfect time Divine Mind have to run this flag. I'm not sure where the last Chief members are. They would have spawned in by now, 3 of them, so they're probably going to start to extend down through the alleyway. Plasma running this through. BZIIRK picks up a kill on Rated though, so they do lose 1 Divine Mind. They lose 2 trying to run the flag through double doors. Madsy's dropped. It's only 1 down for the Chiefs though, so the Chiefs still have the numbers to try and stop this flag. Slayz, massive out BR there. BZIIRK, he's going to get the return, so unfortunately for Divine Mind, when they had all the candy, they just weren't able to convert that into a flag score. Great defensive work by the Chiefs.
Yeah. Great work that it is, and Rated, he got himself a double kill, but it's not really translating to much map control. I say that, and Swayz and Rated are pushing up mid-map and pushing the Chiefs guys backwards. Swayz finding BZIIRK, he's sent to the respawn screen, and Beastn trying to hold down the fort, but he falls as well. Plasma grabbing him. Here comes Pip, finds himself Slayz, take him down, and has plenty of shields to work with as well, so he can peek instantly, looking for those opposite players, backing BZIIRK off here. BZIIRK has to stay alive if they want to stop this flag, and look at that spawn by Slayz there as well. He's just propped up, and I'll have to see what he does, but BZIIRK hasn't really moved from that alleyway. He's still there, trying to hold angles. There's Madsy. He gets taken down. Pips just hits him with the grapple and just slams his fist right into his face, sends Madsy back in, and Rated doing everything that he can to get that flag moving.
That's the moment, I think.
And BZIIRK is shut down, and it's 1-1. We've got ourselves a game.
That is just huge by Pip. That was the moment. If he didn't get that kill there, then there was no way that flag was going in, but he managed to pick up an insane double. And look at the momentum now that Divine Mind have. A double kill from Swayz here. Nades going in. He's got that OS just a little bit left as well. Trying to get around this map here. Trying to get up onto the balcony. Slayz shots. He's pushed down into alley. And look at the turnaround. Knowing Beastn's still up there doing some damage. Unfortunately, he isn't able to get any kills out of it. We jump on with Pip. Pip's no shields now, hanging out bottom here, just doing a great job staying alive. Manages to pick up the assist there. 2 down for each team. Fire coming from Pip, and there's a big double kill from BZIIRK there, so that's massive. Getting a bit of momentum back for Chiefs, Justin. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left, 1-1. That play from Pip then was absolutely crucial in keeping Divine Mind in this.
Yeah, and with 3 minutes to go, it really could come down to one last flag cap with how much they've had to slog things out. And it looks like Slayz is just trying to be so annoying on these players and just moving things around, using his angles and just peppering at everyone. Grabs himself the grapple, so now he's got the mobility to go with that shotty. Madsy with one rocket in hand, and here comes the Chiefs push. They're smelling blood in the water. The Shark taking one down, munching their leg off. He loves the Surfer, taking him down. Now the Chiefs looks like they're going to be moving out this flag. Madsy, he's fumbled the flag a couple of times, but this flag run is looking clean. He gets it all the way into the treehouse. That's such a critical area to get the flag moving. He does get lit up, and that flag is at the halfway mark. Perfect shots from Beastn, and he's staying alive as well. That's so frustrating. Here comes the push to try and get the reset, and both those players, I think they went down, so that flag is still sitting there, ready to be picked up, and it does get scooped. That flag's still alive. Slayz getting a touch, but here comes Swayz from behind the sharp. That one down, what he does, and now Swayz doing his best to stay alive. Ring around the Rosie. He's got that Bulldog in hand, but he's only got one slug to play with. Who hoots?
OS is absolutely huge here, the Plasma's got, so he can just sit on this flag and definitely get the return. Madsy, I think, knows that's happened, so he's not even going to bother to push out there. So great work from Plasma, just knowing he can pretty much just be the returner there. No one else is going to be able to take him down while he does that. This OS is still staying strong here. They've got players on either side of them here as they move in, so they're going to have to coordinate. I love that. They both turned, looked up at BZIIRK there in the tree. That's 2 down for Chiefs. Plasma with this OS has just run out, but he's starting to run it up around the balcony, and I think he's waiting, thinking that there might be spawners down in the alley. There aren't. He's going to push this right across, so he at least gets this over the halfway point. Looks like he's going to go through the double doors. I like this use of the shock nades there. That's going to stop any type of run through that alleyway if he can just stay alive. Unfortunately, he's taken down. Slayz backing up for the Chiefs. This flag for the Chiefs might not be a chance to be put in. The flag is taken down just at the double doors, and Swayz manages just to get through, but that grapple shot's going to get him right in there to start fighting. There's unfortunately 2 players though, so Divine Mind are going to be able to get this flag up onto their base. Their flag has actually been returned, I think. Plasma pops that in, 2-1, 48 seconds to go, Justin. Divine Mind needed to make something happen, and they have. And with 40 seconds left, are we going to see them start playing defense?
This is really tight. Yes, there's only 30 seconds to go, but both of them have been so back and forth, and it's just Divine Mind that's been able to capitalize on the opportunities that's given to them, but that clock is quickly running down. The Chiefs, they don't have a lot of time. They can get it done, but with the pressure that Divine Mind is putting onto them, Slayz, he grabs himself one. Look in the scoreline, he's 28 and 17, so he's doing everything that he can. 14 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the Chiefs push. The last chance for them to get things going. No holds barred. They've just got to get in there. Madsy with the double kill and the kill feed. Triple kill for Madsy. And here comes Rated with that Bulldog holding things down. Beastn trying to get that flag moving. Here's the shutdown. He gets the better of Rated. That flag is on the move. And Madsy with that overshield hoots. Madsy picking up another kill. He grabs the Spanker as well. And that flag, they have to keep their mitts around it. Double kill, killing spree for the Shark. Looks like Divine Mind might need a bigger boat, because here he comes. He's running that flag. He's got the overshield. He gets it through the double doors. No bouncers waiting for him. Does look like he's going to be able to get it in, and he slots it in. 2-2. We're going to overtime.
Absolutely amazing. That OS that Madsy had there was so crucial in getting him through those double doors uncontested. That is so massive, Justin, in the grand scheme of this, because the Chiefs, if they went down 2-1 in this series, I reckon that's enough momentum for Divine Mind. And look at this, Divine Mind straight off the start, 3 down. Look at the swarm for the Chiefs. Plasma Rated the only one still left alive. Divine Mind has OS, they have rockets, and they're straight in the base already.
They certainly are, wasting no time, but you have that momentum behind you. Why wouldn't you? You just get in, and it's like, boys, and Madsy hitting rockets like that. Oh my god, he smells a very weak and injured Divine Mind and Madsy. He's going, boys, just give the flag to me, give me the goodies, I'll do it all myself. And he's running this flag all the way through market. Hasn't been touched yet. Kicks a bag of trash out of the way like it's the Divine Mind roster, and he's turning around his boys. I just want to pad my stats a bit more. Gets a trade in that situation, but here it is. BZIIRK doing everything that he can as well. That flag is down there bottom mid. 4 minutes on the clock for those just tuning in, and Next flag, Cap wins. Madsy clutching up before the overtime, and here comes Divine Mind to try and get the re on this one, but the Chiefs are watching that flag so carefully, and they're being really patient. Slayz scoops that one up. The flag's on the move. I'm not sure Divine Mind is going to be able to stop this one. Pips finds a couple of grenades waiting for him to the double doors, and here's the Chiefs. They slam that one in. Madison Stone clutched it up, and then Slayz got it done in sudden death situation, and the Chiefs take that map. Hoots, hold me.
Jeez, Louise, that was, you know, I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of Bazaar CTF normally, but that was unreal. That's the best Bazaar CTF game I reckon I've ever seen. And just the timing and Madsy's run at the end there in regulation time, and then just the way they started. Divine Mind were on the back foot from the get-go at the start of that overtime there. They had nothing really at the start. They were 3 or 4 down. Chiefs had rockets, they had OS. And it just seemed like they caught fire. Madsy just went like a madman, was so aggressive, and that aggression just caught them completely off guard. Divine Mind, they had no counter for it, and Chiefs were so methodical in getting that flag slowly back to their base. They outslayed a couple of times and then finally put it in when they knew it was a lock. That's got to be a massive momentum shift for them in the grand scheme of this whole series.
It was just ridiculous. And Madsy, that was the Madsy clinic. He was like, boys, this is how you use the rockets, this is how you use the overshield, this is how you run a flag, this is how you clutch a game, and watch me do it again in overtime, sudden death. That was just ridiculous, and the Chiefs really did just show up, and that momentum, surely that's enough to carry Chiefs to the bracket reset.
I thought that pip moment there with the grapple was going to be the thing that turned the tide for Divine Mind, and it did for a moment. But Justin, they went up in the game 2-1, and then I don't know if they were trying to play defensive, and then Chiefs just came in and ran over them, or they maybe overextended a bit when they had the win. But it was just so unfortunate to see there that they weren't able to hold that out and get the win for them. That's just got to be so crushing for them, and Chiefs now must have all the momentum going into this game 4, where they can actually win this series and force a reset of the series and potentially reverse sweep Divine Mind.
Potentially. We'll just have to see how things pan out. I'm preparing myself for a very long night and late night game of things. I'm so excited. I love it when we have a match like this, Hoots. It's, you know, sometimes it's a bit of a blowout, and you got to go, oh yeah, you know, this team could totally bring it back, and then in your head you're going, they're totally not going to bring it back. But this is going to go back and forth. It's going to go down to the wire, and you know, Divine Minds, they're going to be licking their wounds a little bit. They're going to be licking their paws in the corner, and Chiefs are going to come in hot. But I think Divine Mind will bounce back. They seem to do well under pressure in those hot situations and try and keep games as competitive as possible. So maybe they'll be able to bounce things back, and they do have an extra series in their back pocket as well. Hopefully, as something you mentioned early on, before we started the series, is that doubt creeping in. It's like, boys, we can't choke it. We can't choke it. We can't let them reset. But we'll have to see how things pan out, because we are in game already. Enough yapping. Game time. Double kill for Beastn, securing plenty of points for his squad off the rip there, and we are playing King of the Hill on live fire currently. That overshield has not popped just yet. 5 more seconds, but it does look like a few players are setting up, ready to scoop that one up. Hoots.
Yeah, we've spoken about it before, that Divine Mind really prioritise that overshield. You know, they use that as a way to start their initial pushes, to be able to get in and break setups. We do see they have managed to secure it this time again. I think is it Rated, I think, that's managed to pop it in there. So Rated's going to be the one running around all throughout the map, and we do have him here. Actually, look, so a lot of it's been wiped already, Justin. So Chiefs have done a really good job to try and neutralize this OS as quickly as possible. But meantime, look at the scoreboard. 3 down, 4 Chiefs. Divine Mind now setting up in this hill. And this B1, there are quite a few areas to be able to hide around while still racking up hill time. So it's not like a lot of the other hill times, particularly on streets that are nice and open, where you can be taking damage while in the hill. You see Plasma here. He can keep his head down. He's still holding hill time. And look, Divine Mind already starting out to a pretty strong lead, filling up almost half the time limit right now for this opening point.
Yeah, and doing well, locking it down too. It takes down one player. Shields are flashing, that classic Halo shield recharge sound does go up, and now he's holding down the fort. He does fall, and I think the sniper rifle falls off the map as well, so that's going to be out of play. Didn't really have the chance to use it too much because he was too busy holding down the hill for his team, but it does get swapped over to Divine Mind. They're about halfway on the ticker to taking this one out. For those just tuning in and are not familiar with the new setup for King of the Hill, is that it's not a time-based system anymore. It's based on points. You win the hill or you lose the hill, and you've just got to get that timer up, win it, and move on to the next one, and they're going at it to make that things happen. I'm not sure what the hell happened there. I think the repulsor sent them back right there, but we're on board with Beastn, who is currently 5-3, so doing pretty well currently, but that hill just seems to be going back and forth.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of chaos down at the bottom here. I think Divine Mind have had the better rub of the green for the most part, getting some real good solid chunks of time, whereas the Chiefs are being forced to scrap, and they are getting towards the end. Divine Mind, they are only one man up right now, but they have still gotten even closer, just a little bit more time. I'd say it's about 5 or so seconds left required to secure this first point. Snipe popping in about 20 seconds, but the hill is where all the focus is right now. I think Divine Mind might have even just picked up an OS semi recently. I'm not sure who has got that in their back pocket or who's put that in yet, but Chiefs finally able to get a little bit of time right now. We have Divine Mind a little bit split off the spawn. We got raided over there in Garage. He should be dropped, taken down pretty quickly. Pips taken down really quickly as well. 2 down, 4, 3 down for Divine Mind. So the Chiefs just moving in now, going to get a little bit more hill time, knowing that Swayz is the last man alive here, but he's doing a good job playing defense, keeping Slayz off it there. But Madsy with the snipe takes him out from down near Garage, and more time for Chiefs now, Justin. They're starting to get close to wrapping this first point out as well.
Yeah, and they seem to have a really good setup too. But here comes the flank from Pips. He's in there with Garage with a heat wave, taking down Madsy. Here to break that setup, but he falls himself. Chiefs setup just a little bit too strong there, who's able to take them down. Here comes BZIIRK and Beastn. He staying back in the hill, locking down point number 1 in favor of the Chiefs. Here comes Plasma sliding out, finding a wild BZIIRK, taking him down. And this next hill has popped and is working down. I think that OS popped as well, Hoot, so I have to keep an eye on what's going on with that.
That's about to.
It's just about to. 4 seconds to go, and Madsy, he just seems to be locked on. He is not missing, and Pips, last man alive. That OS has popped. I can see that little yellow diamond in my peripheral vision, so I'm not sure who scooped that one up, but Pips in the hill right now trying to lock things down, but Plasma sniffing out Slayz. He's in a bit of trouble. The prediction nade comes in to hold them back. There is some help from Madsy there. He cops a grenade. He goes down as well, and Plasma doing well to stay alive in this situation and pushing players back, and Divine Mind doing really well. They've got such a massive lead on this hill.
Yeah, Plasma had that OS back tower there, so that was what enabled him to stay alive despite a fair few nades being thrown at him. And I love this placement here up on top, providing fire. And look, even the drop ball, utilising that, has been given a little bit of a buff recently, so players are more inclined to actually try and use it. And that alone has enabled his team to keep the Chiefs at bay. They're going to take this second hill tied up at 1-1, Justin. I don't think Chiefs are in a position to put a stop to it there. And so now we move to this third hill over at Garage, rated top mid, hanging out there with the Commando. Just moving now bottom, trying to get a different angle over on Garage here. I like this jump, moving up, making sure top mid's clear. BZIIRK though, well, it was a Madsy actually that came in with a bit of a nade that helped finishing off with the BR there. And Swayz now is going to move in with this heat wave. He only has one teammate up though, so moving into the hills probably not the wisest idea, but he is in a bit of a pinch. He needs to move back, and I like this, conserving his life a little bit. There's no point rushing through, but time does become a bit of a factor, right? The Chiefs are already well over halfway to securing this one, and Beastn, he just knows he's sitting there. I don't know how Swayz realized he was there. Beastn just hiding behind the pole. Chiefs are taking this one completely uncontested, Justin. I think if you're Divine Mind, you give up on this and just get ready for the next one.
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes you just got to give it up and use that time to strategize a little bit and get a different position on the map. Now this one...
This is the chaotic one.
This is difficult to hold. It's basically just like who can jump around and avoid grenades for the longest in a really rough position. And it looks like Slayz is the man. He just grabbed that OS too. That is just so critical for the Chiefs roster. Grabbing that OS means that he can just ring around the rosy, that podium there, and just cop grenades left and right, and it doesn't matter. He can just absorb so much damage, but he's too busy with his stat line to worry about the hill he's pushing in. And Madsy there at the back to jump in the the hill and turn this one over for the Chiefs. And it's already halfway done. That was clear. That was quick. Now BZIIRK 12 and 14 at the moment, and now moving in, trying his best to support Madsy. Madsy's shields are flashing desperately. He wants to stay alive. He's doing everything that he can, and BZIIRK right there to help him out. It's like, Madsy, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. Grabbing one, Pips with some nice shots to take down BZIIRK there, and Chiefs, such a sliver. It's wafer thin, Hoots. It's wafer thin. They need to get it down.
They stopped them at just the last moment, but they have to be completely flawless here. They cannot afford to leave this hill uncontested for too long, because the Chiefs will jump right in knowing they only need 1 or 2 seconds. They can just spam straight in there, and this double kill from Beastn is going to go a long way into helping them secure that. BZIIRK's going to jump in now, take control of this hill. They will take 0.3, so 0.4 I should say, sorry, so 3-1 up the Chiefs. 2 minutes 52 left on the clock. Time still not really a factor yet for Divine Mind, but they do have to be conscious of that scoreboard, because if the Chiefs win this one, it is game over. Beastn dropping down bottom mid, conserving his life, gets a heat wave for his troubles as well. Fortune favours the brave as he now starts to move around through the garage, and he's going to catch a few members of Divine Mind unawares. He can just start spraying some of that heat wave in there and start picking up a bit of damage. But meanwhile, Slayz jumps in as well, drops Pips, I believe it was. Divine Mind 2 down. Chiefs now with a little bit, they actually just recently lost their lead actually in this hill, and Swayz is in a really commanding position here, so he needs to try and hold this top mid area, looking over the snipe spawn. Madsy has picked up that OSO, so that's crucial. He's going to know that he's coming through. The nades go in predicting, but don't take much damage off Madsy. He can still stay around here putting in damage and just hold them off the hill, the Divine Mind squad, while his teammates start to get in position as they're moving in now. But look at the attention he's grabbing, being down up in this top mid, dropping down now, Justin, and pretty neck and neck on this hill so far.
Yeah, it is back and forth currently. Madsy doing everything that he can, but he does fall as well. And the Slayz just chilling out on the podium here. Pip's taken down pretty handily by BZIIRK there, and Slayz scoops up that heat wave, but he goes down as well. And it just seems to be going kill for kill right now. Neither team able to go on a big run with that hill that's up top mid there. Beastn, he falls as well rated. He goes down. Pips trying to get the better of Slayz with the cleanup grenade, but Slayz is saying, hey Pips, I'll see you later, mate. I've got somewhere to be, and just yeets it out of there. And that sniper's spawned up in the hill as well. And it looks like someone managed to scoop that one up, so maybe they can get a nice flanking position on those long sight lines. It's not a hill I'd want to be trying to get points on when the sniper's in play, and it does look like Swayz is the man with that one. And still, he's neck and neck. Yes, Divine Mind has a sliver left to get themselves, but the Chiefs, if they get a little bit of a run, they can secure this one, but Divine Mind, they're in big trouble.
Swayz just basically...
If they don't win this hill, Hoots, and it's bracket reset. So Divine Mind has got to do something now if they want to beat the Chiefs here and now.
Swayz just did a great job before to pretty much wipe the Chiefs completely by himself, but Divine Mind just haven't been able to close this hill out. They are stacking 2 in there now, but they're unaware of BZIIRK right behind them. Nades coming in as well, still getting a bit of time. I think they have to be close. I'm not sure what the score is exactly right now, but the Chiefs are moving in. It says objective nearing completion, so both teams actually really close. Chiefs and Divine Mind neck and neck. Divine Mind need to get Beastn out of there right now. This will go a long way to doing that, though, with that assassination coming in by Raider. He needs to win this kill. He gets the trade, but the Chiefs were still in there the whole time. I think it was Madsy being really sneaky around that corner, Justin, and I thought they were going to be able to put a stop to it there, Divine Mind, but they couldn't. More importantly, though, the Chiefs managed to reset the bracket, Luke, so we are going to another replay.
Ooh, this is getting spicy, boys. This is getting real spicy. Last week, it was full 5 mappers between both these two teams. And now it seems like the series is starting to blow out a little bit. But in our grand final, this is a full bracket reset coming in from the Chiefs, getting the 3-1 in the first best of 5. So Divine Mind, they had a little bit of wiggle room, but Justin, it really feels like the Chiefs are stepping it up a notch. Maybe those spicy questions you threw over to Madsy made the shark angry.
Maybe. I mean, we keep saying it in the commentary. He smells blood in the water. Yeah. And the thing is that when you have momentum behind you and you're making the right plays, you're getting kills, you're getting hyped with your teammates, you just lock on, and that just seems to be what the Chiefs is doing right now, because the Divine Mind, they're not really faltering. They're doing everything they can. They're putting up a good fight, but the Chiefs just seem to be playing that little bit better so far, and I think maybe the Chiefs are already thinking about that next series, and they're just like, hey boys, we're just going to get through these games, and then we'll beat them in like the next best of 5. And that's what they're thinking about. And Divine Mind, maybe they're panicking a little bit. It's like, oh god, we don't want to be like, you know, taken out on a double bracket reset. It's not something that they want to see. So doubts creeping in, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe, you know, a lot of the ifs and buts when it comes to, you know, mental and all that kind of stuff are all hypotheticals for us here. And that sees to be the ender there from Plasma. He actually repulsed himself up into the air and
out of the
wasn't
zone.
touching the point.
Oh, no.
So they won that. Hey, swings and roundabouts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
That was a beautiful spot there from our observers. So shout out to the team out the back for that one. But either way, we've got a bracket reset already, Hooters. And I think this is where we're going to set our sights on this next best of 5 and really look towards, you know, the players of Divine Mind to step up once again. If I do have to, you know, say something about this Divine Mind roster, you know, Swayz isn't hitting, you know, triple positive this time around. And I think that's probably a big caveat for us, right, is he's being, you know, either even or sometimes slightly negative. And you know, this Divine Mind squad, when they were dominating the Chiefs, Swayz was, you know, hitting triple positives. But now when he's faltering a little bit, the rest of the Chiefs squad are really starting to get amped up. And it's really hard for the Divine Mind team to get on top of them. So maybe they just need that mental reset. Some of these boys need to start hitting the zone and might have a spicy best of 5.